Alright, hello everyone. Today we're going to look at this beautifully decorated book here with this red and gold cover. This is the Humorous poetry book, or the Book of Humorous Poetry. And let's take a look at this pretty cover. We've got this gold border all the way around, and then this black embossed design here. And then the title, which has some red and blue coloring as well as gold work on it. We can see a lyre at the top. The title, Humorous Poetry, with fancy capital letters. And we can see the title again here on the spine in gold, Humorous Poetry, as well as additional work here on the spine. We've got a gold lyre again, and then also a poet here holding the lyre. And then the publisher W.P. Nimmo in gold there at the bottom. And on the back cover we have less coloring, but we've got this design in the center. And then all of the pages are gilded, so you can see this beautiful shine here on all sides. And the main wear to this book is in the spine, so I'm just going to be careful opening it up. Got these browned end papers. And the first title, The Book of Humorous Poetry. It's a bit stained, that page. And this was part of a book series which was showing popular poets, or by the publisher Nimmo here. So this front page, it says Nimmo's Popular Poets, and that was the series that this book was a part of. And this is a really well colored page. And here's the proper title page, The Book of Humorous Poetry, and we can see all of these I'm presuming poets here below carrying this large book, which is the Book of Humorous Poetry. And it's published by William P. Nimmo in, I believe, 1875. And we can see that on the next page here. Yeah, so published 1875. This is yet another title page, and it's showing that the illustrations are by Charles A. Doyle. It was published by William P. Nimmo in London, 1875. Here we have the table of contents, which gives us a sense of how many different poets or authors are included in this. So we've got Robert H. Newell, Isaac Story, George Outram, Archbishop Whately, Pete Pindar, James Smith, John G. Sachs, John J.G. Lockhart, John Byrom. We've got Thomas More there. If we go to the next page, we can see how many there are. Samuel Rollins, O.W. Holmes, more Thomas More. We've got Oliver Goldsmith. We've got a entry there called Dr. Lobster. Charles Lamb, Dean Swift down here at the bottom. Quite a few from him. Some from the Gentleman's Magazine. We got Robert Burns. More from Dean Swift, Lord Byron, Ralph Waldo Emerson. And you can just see how many there are here. So let's go forward. Oh, and here's a pretty little flower at the end of the table of contents. And then here, this is a sort of interesting thing to include, but this is the index of first lines. So you can locate a poem by its first line. I'm not sure how common this is in old poetry books, but I thought it was a cool feature of this book. There's another little flower. Here's the first entry. Chaucer, to my empty purse, to you my purse and to none other wight, complain I, for ye by my lady dear I am sorry now that ye be light, for certes ye now make me heavy cheer. Me were as lief belayed upon a bier, for which unto your mercy thus I cry, be heavy again, or else must I die. I mispronounced a lot of that, I'm sure. So this book, it also has a number of illustrations in it. I think I've just found one here. Yes, okay. So we can see these two monks walking next to each other. St. Anthony's Sermon to the Fishes, I believe that this is for. But it says, how is that you can like a greyhound go, merry as if naught had happened, burn ye? Why, cried the other grinning, you must know that just before I ventured on my journey, to walk a little more at ease, I took the liberty to boil my peas. And these illustrations are pretty detailed. We can see a signature from the illustrator down in the right-hand corner on that one. So I'm just going forward to find some more interesting things, mostly looking for these illustrations to share. There's a poem. Let's see. This one's called The Theater. Oh, here's another illustration. We can see all of these people in a theater, it looks like. It says, up soars the prize, the youth with joy unfeigned regained the felt and felt what he regained, while to the applauding gallery's grateful pat made a low bow and touched the ransomed hat. You can see the hat that they're grabbing there. And just look at all of these different expressions and faces. Some of them are kind of gruesome looking. There's a poem called Surnames here by James Smith. We could take a look at the beginning of that. It says, Surnames by James Smith, one of the authors of The Rejected Addresses. Men once were surnamed for their shape or estate. You all may from history worm it. There was Louis the Bulky and Henry the Great, John Lackland and Peter the Hermit. But now, when the door plates of misters and dames are read, each so constantly varies. From the owner's trade, figure, and calling surnames seem given by the rule of contraries. Mr. Wise is a dunce, Mr. King is a Whig, Mr. Coffin's uncommonly sprightly, and huge Mr. Little broke down in a gig, while driving fat Mrs. Golightly. At Bath, where the feeble go more than the stout, a conduct well worthy of Nero. Over poor Mr. Lightfoot, confined with the gout, Mr. Heaviside danced a bolero. So just a silly rhyming poem about how surnames no longer describe who they're attributed to, and seem to do the opposite. Alright, oh, and here's another illustration. You can see this woman in the middle, and then the caption down at the bottom here. It says, but here my muse her wing Moncour, sick flights are far beyond her power, to sing how Nanny Lappin flaying, a supple jade she was in straying, and how Tam stood like Anne bewitched, and thought his very even enriched. That one's called The Vagabonds. This one's Robin Goodfellow. Here's an interesting image of a sort of ghostly horse, frightening these two people. It says, sometimes I meet them like a man, sometimes an ox, sometimes a hound, and to a horse I turn me can, to trip and trot about them round. The Citizen and the Thieves. Oh, here's another illustration. This one says, why'd ye come me a leer to me very face? My faith, but ye craw crouse. I tell ye, Tib, I never will bear't. 'Twas a mouse, 'twas a rat, 'twas a mouse. I do not know what this one means. But I suppose it would help to read the poem. That one's called A Tragic Story. And here's another illustration showing a sort of kingly figure on a throne here. And a little dog in front. It says, though he seemed something mute, yet he chose a rich suit, which he straightways put on without longer dispute, with a star on his side, which the tinker oft eyed, and it seemed for to swell him no little with pride. From a convenient place, the right duke his good grace did observe his behaviour in every case. Another one with a lot of different characters with different expressions. Oh, and here's one by Emerson, The Mountain and the Squirrel. The following pithy fable by Ralph Waldo Emerson is one of the very few instances in which the most profound thinker and eminent philosopher in America has condescended to enter the ranks of light literature. The mountain and the squirrel had a quarrel, and the former called the latter Little Prig. Bun replied, you are doubtless very big, but all sorts of things and weather must be taken in together to make up a year and a sphere, and I think it no disgrace to occupy my place. If I'm not so large as you are not so small as I, and not half so spry. I'll not deny you make a very pretty squirrel track. Talents differ, all is well and wisely put. If I cannot carry forests on my back, neither can you crack a nut. A good retort from the squirrel. And then that's the end. And we've got some advertisements for more from this publisher, William P. Nimmo. You can see the Nimmo's Popular Edition of the Works of the Poets. And Nimmo's Universal Gift Books. Nimmo's Half-Crowned Reward Books. We've got Nimmo's 1 shilling, Nimmo's 9-penny series for boys and girls. Nimmo's 1 shilling illustrated juvenile books. Got Nimmo's 4-penny juvenile books, and yeah. So there's the final end papers and the back cover. So that was the book of humorous poetry published by William P. Nimmo. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment and consider subscribing, and thank you so much for watching. Alright, I'll see you next time. Bye.